when dungeons engulfed the world and humanity awakened supernatural powers. Our protagonist, Kurosaki Rei, was the only one without a single skill, scorned and branded as the colorless one. Meanwhile, his younger brother rose to fame as the Purple King, a prodigy hailed across the world. But when the god of time and space appeared, Rei awakened the forbidden ability Skill Drain, seizing divine power and rewinding time itself. This time, he starts over not as a powerless outcast, but as the one who holds the strength to change everything. 10 years ago, an upside-down tower suddenly appeared in the skies above Tokyo. From that moment, dungeons began emerging across Japan. People awakened magical powers, becoming mages who explored these mysterious realms. A mage's power was measured by the color of their aura. Most had a single color, but on rare occasions, some possessed dual-colored abilities. One such prodigy was Kurosaki Kai, the younger brother of our protagonist. Wielding both blue and red magic, he was among the strongest mages, famously known as the Undead King Slayer, who conquered the 89th tier dungeon. In contrast, Kurosaki Rei, his older brother, was born colorless, a rare but scorned existence, viewed as worthless by others. Even Kai regarded Rei as a failure. Yet Rei never gave up on his dream of becoming a mage. He accepted the humiliating role of a porter, carrying supplies just to stay close to the action. Out of pity, Kai allowed him to join his raid party. Deep down, Rei clung to a faint hope that one day, he too might awaken a power. Then came the day Kai's party entered the lair of the final boss, Kronos, the god of time and space. Arrogant and overconfident, Kai charged in with his signature Demon Slayer magic. But a true final boss does not fall so easily. Kronos effortlessly blocked all of Kai's attacks. The entire team was stunned. A red light flared from Kronos' eyes. And in a heartbeat, the mighty Kai was reduced to a lifeless body. Rei could only stare in shock as his brother lay bleeding before him. Kronos, more demon than god, had slain the strongest without breaking a sweat. The rest of Kai's party panicked and fled, but none could escape Kronos' blade. Soon, only Rei remained paralyzed, trembling on the ground. Intrigued by this colorless one, Kronos did not kill him immediately. Despite his fear, Rei gripped a sword and stood to fight. He had nothing left to lose, and refused to die like this. Amused, Kronos unleashed space-bending black holes. In an instant, Rei's right arm was torn off. He screamed in agony. But then, with a snap of Kronos' fingers, time reversed. His arm restored as if nothing had happened. Next came a blaze of hellfire, surrounding Rei in smoke and despair. Kronos laughed maniacally. Yet through the flames, Rei's eyes were fixed on the sword he had forged for himself. With all the recklessness, gritting his teeth, he launched a desperate charge through the fire, striking Kronos with a critical blow. But gods do not die so easily. Kronos reversed time again. The wound vanished. Rei was back where he started. His body failed him. He dropped his sword and collapsed, certain this was the end. Then, a system screen appeared before his eyes. Divine presence detected, god of time and space. Secret skill unlocked. Sub-skill activated, reverse skill theft. Rei's eyes widened as he saw it. He had stolen Kronos' reversal ability. Before Kronos could react, Rei used the stolen skill. The god was sucked into a space-time vortex, enraged and glaring back. Then, Rei activated one final power, regression. Reality twisted. The world shifted. And when he opened his eyes, he was lying in bed confused, disoriented. Standing before a mirror, he saw his reflection. He was young again. For a moment, a vague figure appeared. In a whisper, someone said, "I am not strong enough to defeat that god of time and space." Then they extended their hand. "That is why I entrusted this skill to you. You are steadfast. You can beat Kronos, that god of time and space." At that moment, space snapped back, returning Rei to his own timeline. He bolted upright in bed and walked to the mirror. His eyes widened in shock. He would grown younger. He touched his face. Is this a dream? Looking out the window, he saw birds fluttering chaotically. Then his gaze fell on the inverted tower. It was still white. He broke into a cold sweat. It should have turned black by now. That white tower was from 5 years ago. And over time it had been darkened. When it fully blackened, that gateway would open. Ray remembered the image of Kronos. Behind that gate stood the god of time and space. A realization struck. I stole the reversal skill from him during that fight. He grabbed his phone. It displayed May 27, 2024. Exactly as I suspected. He was 7 years in the past. A system chime rang out. On the system UI, only skill theft remained, reversal had vanished. But best of all, skill theft was still present. A wide grin spread across his face. After 10 worthless years, he finally had a skill. Another notification popped up. Today, a skill evaluation was scheduled. The Mage Association's headquarters at Yoda District, just outside Tokyo Station. The national agency that oversees dungeon raids. Ray stepped inside, astonished at the pristine surroundings. It looked brand new. Well, of course, it was 5 years ago. A voice interrupted him. Hey colorless one, what are you doing here? It was Oik and Goto, Kai's underlings. Ray realized these two had always been Kai's followers. Goto sneered, slapping Ray's shoulder, going for another power test, ridiculous. Oik added, it is useless for a worthless nobody like you to keep trying. Ray nodded, thinking, this is not my first test. I refuse to give up on being a mage, so I will keep trying no matter how many failures. He shrugged off Goto's hand. Let me pass, he said firmly. Then walked past the furious pair. A female examiner approached, Hinata Gen, ALEVEL 27B rank mage. She glanced at him and sighed, Rina thinks you will kill yourself over this exam. Ray met her gaze calmly, I am sure this time will be fine. Soon they reached the dungeon entrance. Hinata waved her hand, you do not need me to explain again, right? Ray looked in and nodded. He stepped inside to retrieve 3 magic stones from a group of goblins. Normally, any awakened mage would find this trivial. But Ray stayed alert. Then, unexpectedly, a foul creature emerged. Something that should not appear in a level 1 dungeon. A red-capped goblin at level 37, a total anomaly. Hinata gasped, red-capped goblin. Why is this here? Kurosaki, run. Ray assessed the threat. This level gap is huge. He remembered that in his former life, before regression, Hinata had been unable to defeat this monster. She had been holding it off for him to escape. But the goblin struck back, injuring her severely. She was crippled and could never continue as a mage. Because of my failure. His grip tightened around his sword. He refused to let history repeat. The goblin activated a physical enhancement skill. To open the battle, Ray threw his sword. But the goblin easily deflected it. The creature was too fast to land a hit. But Ray managed to land a blow to its head. Ray's arm was scratched. The goblin's eyes glared red with rage. As it prepared to strike, his system notified him. Maximum physical augmentation skill acquired. A golden light glowed from his sword. He transferred the stolen skill into his blade and struck at the goblin's torso, cleaving it in two. Just flesh and bone left behind. The red cap was dead. Rina, standing beside him, finally looked astonished. He defeated that monster with a single blow. Ray thought inwardly, noticing the skill theft aura. He glanced at his hand, dark energy swirled around him. Impressive, truly an astonishing power. Then Ray spoke but paused. Should I mention stealing skills? Instead he said, I just dodged. I barely paid attention. Rina sighed, what a coincidence. Don't lie. Then she revealed, due to this irregularity, the exam is cancelled. I will report it to headquarters. Ray lowered himself to pick up a golden shard. Now's not the time for irregularities. I just need 2 power stones. She snapped, this is not the time to talk about that. This place is truly dangerous. Suddenly, another goblin's hand burst into view. Ray stared in surprise. Not just one, but 2 incoming monsters. They lunged at them. But before long, both were felled with a single neck slash. Ray had taken them down as easily as slicing bread. Rina watched stunned. Ray held out the 2 power stones. I got them, the power stones, right? Rina was speechless. Scene switches to the Mage Association's main building entrance. Ray handed over his Mage ID card. He stared, emotional. It was the symbol he would dreamed of. After 10 years of being looked down on. Of being just a porter. Now I am finally a mage. Rina cleared her throat. Also, here are the values for those power stones. They were rare and could be sold to the association. Ray realized, since I defeated an A- rank monster, this could be my income. The sheet listed, Goblin 1000. Red cap 3 million. Ray's eyes widened in disbelief. Rena explained, that is the payout you get for defeating the Red Cap Goblin. Ray trembled with joy, even mages can earn decent money. Rena smiled, if it were you, you would earn even more. Ray noticed Rena's bandaged wounds. Concerned, he asked, may I ask you something? Soon after, they stood again at the dungeon entrance. Ray raised his hand, his system read. Kurosaki Ray, rank C. That is, my name. He stared at the ID. He had never entered a dungeon on his own before. He remembered the time Rena had been hospitalized before regression. Maybe I can do it now. Rena looked at him happily. And Ray smiled, satisfied with hope to change his future. Suddenly, a magical hand appeared. Ray was pushed back by surprise. Oik and Goto sneered, what are you doing here? A worthless mage entering alone, don't you know that is against the rules? Ray calmly replied, I passed the power evaluation exam, I can enter the dungeon on my own. Goto frowned, what? Stop lying. Oik demanded a display, let us see your skill. Ray found himself restrained by a magical hand, a skill enhancing physical force. Oiki's power alone was not enough. Ray's leg snapped up. Then he spun, smashing Oiki's head into the wall. Oik bled from his nose. System notification, magical hand skill has been stolen. The activated magical hand was nullified. Ray had stolen Oiki's power. Both grunts were stunned. Soft lights formed into a new magical hand. Ray's skill drain had taken effect, turning Oiki's own power back on him. Oik gasped, you really awakened a skill. Goto, unconvinced, charged with a fireball. Ray clenched tightly, activated his stolen physical boost power enhancement, and swatted Goto aside. Goto crashed meters away into the wall. Shocked, they watched as two lights, green and gold, shone from Ray. Not single-colored, he said coldly, raising his hand. A sphere of fire, the stolen fireball, appeared. And he said firmly, I am not colorless. Goto's expression twisted in confusion. A third color, I have never heard of that. Ray did not waste words, he continued to summon the fireball. A powerful shockwave rippled out. Though Goto managed to dodge, Oiki's magical hand suddenly faded away. Ray spoke seriously, still want to fight? The two stared dumbfounded, then bolted. Sorry, they shouted as they fled. Ray sighed, rubbing his head. If Kai finds out about this, I am done for. He recalled how he would been treated as Kai's lapdog. If Kai knew I woke a skill, he would crush me. Kai was already level 50, one of the strongest mages alive. And the dungeon gate would open soon. Ray gazed at the dungeon entrance. Resolve in his eyes, he stretched out his hand. Now I must level up as much as I can. Stepping inside, he thought, levels are the foundation of power. Unlocking skills, increasing strength, and more control over magic. Suddenly, a heavy tremor hit before him. A level 38 fire wizard appeared. Ray's newly acquired fireball might struggle to hold against it. The wizard struck first, conjuring 3 fireballs. Magic at different levels made a major difference. Flames streaked toward Ray. But he fired back with his own fireball. The two forces collided. Ray leapt to avoid the incoming flares. He could not beat it head on. Then, a thought flashed. He surged forward. Regardless of level difference. One thing did not change, after casting, there was always a moment of vulnerability. Ray clenched his fist like steel. In that brief moment, he struck the wizard, was powerless to avoid it. The fire wizard collapsed from Ray's punch. System notification, fireball skill stolen. Watching the fire wizard hit the ground, Ray thought. That is its only attack. And now I have stolen it. No more fear. His own fireball, now stronger, roared forward and engulfed the monster in flames. Ray noticed the system screen. Level increasing. The more high-rank enemies you defeat, the more XP you gain. Normally, high-rank monsters were hard to kill, but stealing their skills made it easier. Level 8 right-pointing arrow 12 flashed on his screen. Ray clenched his fist, determination blazing. He glanced at the deep doorway ahead. Next, I aim for level 30, he thought, progressing dungeon by dungeon. He battled upgraded fire monsters. Then fierce fish-like beasts. Each time stealing their skills and leveling rapidly. Soon, he checked his screen, he was at level 27. As expected, it is harder to level further now, he mused, determination shining in his eyes. To reach level 30, he would need even tougher foes. Eventually, he stood before the deepest chamber. The boss room. The door swung open. Ray stepped inside. A blue-tinged aura filled the chamber. The boss, a level 45 skull demon, stood before him, flanked by 2 level 30 imps. If I steal their skills, I can win this, Ray thought, launching himself forward. He leapt high, energy radiating around him. But when he struck, his punch was blocked by a magical barrier. Ray stepped back, surprised. Of course it is a magic shield. I can't steal its skill. The skull demon opened its jaw in madness. And lunge. Its strike nearly broke through the shield. Ray's eyes shone with resolve, his aura dark purple. I have no choice but to use it. Ray spotted the 2 imps descending from above. I do not have that power yet. But without hesitation, he surged upward. He landed a punch right to the first imp's face, automatically activating skill theft. He stole the ice arrow skill, and at the same time, triggered a fireball. The imp had not even reacted before a fireball hit it. Then he focused on the second one, and immediately used his newly stolen ice arrow, instantly eliminating it. Ray landed, now facing only the skull demon. The demon looked at him with fresh wariness. Then summoned another imp. These monsters respawned instantly. Normally, this would be troublesome. But Ray activated his stolen skills and charged forward. He effortlessly defeated them. His system screen showed, level up, 27 right pointing arrow 28. He watched the UI closely. With higher levels would come greater mana control. And once he hit the cap, he would unlock fusion skill. The skull demon opened its jaw. Ray summoned an ice arrow in one hand, and accumulated a fireball in the other. Blue and red energies. In preparation for skill fusion. With a lightning-fast leap, he appeared before the demon, the fused arm wielding both ice and flame. He shouted the name of his technique, Firebrand. The demon raised a magical barrier. But Ray struck it head-on. A crack echoed as the shield shattered. System notification, magical barrier skill stolen. He did not stop there. He struck again, stealing the demon's ultimate physical enhancement skill. The demon reeled in pain. The stolen fusion attack penetrated it, engulfing it in flames. The skull demon collapsed and dissolved, dropping a blue shard. System notification. Level up, 28 right pointing arrow 33. Ray exhaled deeply. A moment to explain fusion skill. It is an advanced technique that combines multiple skills into a more powerful single attack. Typically unlocked around level 30. Holding the blue shard, Ray thought. I actually did it, thank goodness I can use fusion like this. He relaxed then winced as the system notification appeared. Requirement reached, your maximum number of stolen skills increased from 3 to 5. Ray smiled with satisfaction, more stolen skills, more power. Seen at the spacious Mage Association Hall. Ray presented the blue shard. Rena stared, astonished. You defeated a skull demon and jumped to level 33 in just one day. Ray awkwardly scratched his head. I just got lucky, I guess. Rena looked incredulous. I have never heard of anyone skipping to level 30 in a single day. She flipped through a document. At this level, you are eligible for a B-rank mage promotion. Just then, someone approached. Kai stepped into the hall, walking behind Ray. He sneered, this mutt's suddenly B-rank, must be mistaken. Ray frowned. Rena looked worried. Kai continued taunting. Can't even use a single skill, colorless scum. Ray spoke up firmly, despite Kai's doubt. He had just defeated the red-capped goblin and skull demon. Upon hearing this, Kai turned to Ray, his expression serious. And his eyes glowed with a purple aura. Kai clenched his fist and unleashed a powerful shockwave across the hall. But Ray calmly blocked it using his newly stolen magical barrier skill. He looked Kai in the eye and said, honestly, that was a bit dangerous. Rena panicked and yelled at Kai from across the arena floor. Kai stood tall, calling out, so you have awakened skills, huh, seems the rumors are true. Ray nodded but Kai cut him off dismissively. Just because you can use a few tricks does not make you impressive. A vein pulsed on Kai's forehead. He was angry. Let us see how far your power really goes. Rena stood quietly to the side, worried. Are you planning to fight here? Kai's tone was cold. If this untalented mage truly made B rank by his own strength, it won't be a problem. She could not help but worry. Suddenly, Kai sneered at Ray. Or maybe it is all lies. Ray's fist tightened inwardly. Even if he declined Kai's challenge, Kai might strike him from behind later. Ray looked forward resolutely. I accept your challenge. Kai's anger deepened. You jerk. They stood in the Mage Association's arena. Ray thought, when facing someone stronger, always be mindful of the strength gap. At level 30, he commanded 3 basic skills. Kai, at level 50, probably had 5, and brute numbers alone would lose him a straight fight. That was why he would been carefully bridging the power gap. The duel began. Ray unleashed Ice Arrow. And Kai immediately countered with Fireball. The two collided mid-air, ice against fire. They prepared to clash. A massive explosion erupted in the center of the arena. Smoke cleared. Kai watched closely. Ray had somehow closed the distance and unleashed an extreme physical enhancement strike. Kai froze. The golden glow of the buff were those two colors, ice and fire together. Ray did not look away. Kai seemed to have expended 4 skills already. He probably had just 1 left. Ray raised his hand. Now he launched his fusion skill, Firebrand. Kai stood in awe, a combination of blue and red. You have got 3 skill colors. Kai threw a fireball, but Ray rolled backward. Sliding across the floor, Ray's eyes widened. My fusion Firebrand combined 2 powers. And I just lost to a simple fireball. Kai sneered, I did not expect you would have 3 power colors. That explains your eagerness, but I am on a whole other level than you. He unleashed another fireball attack. Kai's grin had turned viciously villainous as he danced between pulses of flame. Ray evaded each one swiftly. Then Ray activated his magical barrier. Kai's fireball struck it, only to shatter it instantly. Kai laughed triumphantly. Throwing a simple fireball. Ray was unable to defend. His shield quickly breaking. Ray was battered with fresh wounds. Kai pointed his finger and taunted. Kneel. And I will spare you this time. Ray gritted his teeth. With limited skills and strength, he knew he could not win now. He briefly considered giving up, but giving in would only make him Kai's servant. His legs held firm. His eyes burned with unwavering resolve. I will not. Seeing Ray stand firm, Kai withdrew his hand and smirked. All right, looks like you won't learn anything till the grave. You are out of chances. Kai then unleashed his final trump card, the overload fireball of a true royal mage. The system warning signaled overload. He was consuming massive power to temporarily double his magical capacity. He began charging a colossal fireball, a cluster of multiple destructive orbs hovering around him, ready to unleash a barrage. Ray's eyes widened. That is the power that made him the strongest. He can tap into immense temporary power like a king. He clenched his fists and shouted, I have been waiting for that skill. Then, Ray suddenly accelerated. Only a true 10-strike combo could counter what was coming. As Kai prepared his attack, Ray leapt high into the air. But Kai only smirked. Foolish, you think you can dodge mid-air. The fireball shifted course, tracking Ray's movement under Kai's control. Ray's eyes remained focused forward. Then suddenly, with his magic palm, he struck behind Kai. Kai flinched. A new skill. Still airborne, Ray thought, if I can avoid the combo, it does not matter how many hits it has. Even a king like Kai has cooldown limits. Landing gracefully, Ray flowed forward in rapid motion. In the blink of an eye, he surged ahead and landed a brutal uppercut straight to Kai's smug face. Kai was caught off guard. Blood flew from his mouth as his body was flung several meters back. At that moment, Ray released a purple aura, one just like Kai's. He had stolen Kai's enhancement skill. Staring at his hand, Ray thought, now that I have taken his ability, it is over. Kai slowly stood, rage seething. You bastard, Ray frowned. He is still going. Kai's face twisted with fury. I will kill you. From thin air, a jagged ice spear appeared. Surrounded by a dark purple aura. Ray recognized it instantly, the Demon Lance. Ray was stunned. That is one of the strongest abilities of the Death King, and he is using it now. The Demon Lance hurtled toward Ray. Fortunately, he narrowly dodged. That speed, Kai immediately summoned 2 more spears. Ray clenched his jaw. I got a clean hit on him earlier, but once he gets serious, his strength is overwhelming. Ray kept dodging relentlessly as Kai continued to barrage him. Eventually, Ray was cornered. Kai smirked. We are not done yet. But Ray finally fought back. His firebrand clashed with Kai's Demon Lance, and their powers exploded with devastating force. The shockwave slammed Ray into the arena wall, leaving a deep dent. He clutched his arm in pain, while Kai remained untouched. Kai sneered. Now do you understand why they call me the Death King? This is the power that makes me the strongest. Ray could only sigh. It is true. That demon lance is one of his most powerful techniques. Kai's killing intent flared. Don't get cocky just because you know a few tricks. Suddenly, Ray's expression changed. Looking at his own hand, he realized, I can't win with my current skills alone. He clenched his fist with determination. But what if I uncover the secret of the Death King's skill? He stared at Kai. Until now, I have only been able to fuse 2 colors at once, limited by my mana capacity. Ray activated enhancement again. A purple surge erupted behind him. Kai was stunned. Enhancement? How? A system message appeared before Ray. His mana had increased just as he would predicted. The system had boosted his output thanks to the newly activated enhancement. Then a hidden skill unlocked, Black Core. Ray beamed. This is it. Kai's arrogance vanished. What are you planning? Your mana. It is risen again. Ray's palm pulsed with an aura similar to Kai's, but this time, it was not just a copy. It was a self-fused tricolor aura. No one had ever achieved this before. Red, blue, and yellow merged into one. A swirling violet-blue sphere appeared in Ray's hand. Kai was shocked. Black mana. Ray did not flinch, his gaze remained steady. The basic mana elements are blue, red, and yellow. I was once mocked for not being able to manifest even one. But they were wrong. His eyes burned with power. Now I have mastered all of them. Ray looked straight at Kai and declared, I am a black mage. He did not care. He just kept attacking. Disappear. Once again, Ray faced Kai's terrifying power head-on. But instead of retreating, he focused intently. Then unleashed his abyssal flame, engulfing the attack completely. In a flash, all that remained was smoke and dust. Kai gasped, impossible. Ray did not stop. He summoned another surge of abyssal flame. Kai, panicking, began forming massive blocks of ice. Damn it, he snarled, creating an ice wall twice his size. But Ray's focus did not waver. The dark flame clashed against the ice. Kai's expression shifted to fear as the flame consumed everything, ice and all. Then the fire surged toward him. As the dust cleared, only Ray was left standing. He exhaled deeply, his gaze fixed ahead. Kai now lay unconscious. Ray slowly approached, finally allowing himself to relax. I did it. Suddenly, the system window appeared. Abyssal Flame skill successfully acquired via Black Essence. Ray recalled that moment when he first recognized the nature of the Abyssal Flame. At that moment, Raina appeared at the entrance. Her face filled with concern. Ray, are you okay? Ray stood up with a smile. Somehow, yeah. Raina frowned. What was that power? Ray did not answer at first. He just narrowed his eyes in thought. I can't keep hiding this forever. Then he raised his hand, revealing a pulse of black energy. It looks like a black-type skill, he told her. Her eyes widened. Black magic. Raina immediately understood this was something unheard of. The only one of its kind in the world. She murmured. Ray replied calmly, let us just say it is black magic. Should I report this to the association? If not, I will keep it secret. Raina shook her head quickly. That is not what I meant. I just think, you might be missing an opportunity. Ray blinked. Missing an opportunity? Raina nodded with a firm look. Among all the magic affinities, black is considered the king. You are the only black mage in existence. Ray, you have every right to call yourself a king. The Black King. Hearing that, Ray's eyes dimmed slightly. Am I really a king? Then he let out a hesitant smile. For now, I do not want that title. In his heart, he still did not feel like he had earned it, not yet. Ray then turned to her. By the way, what about Kai? Is he going to be okay? Raina replied nonchalantly, he is still a king-ranked mage. He will recover, even from those injuries. She then pulled out her phone. Either way, I will have him taken to the medical bay. Suddenly, Ray's own phone vibrated in his pocket. What is this? He checked it and his face went pale. Warning, dungeon appearance detected, Western Gate of Ikebukuro Park, estimated level, 70+. Raina also froze in shock. Ray clenched his fist. So it is finally here. The Ikebukuro dungeon. An anomaly predicted to be level 70, far beyond the capabilities of most kings, who cap at level 50. Within the first week of its appearance, even the top-ranked mages admitted they were helpless. The dungeon was left untouched. But then, a red glow burst from within it. That was the beginning of a catastrophe. The dungeon collapsed. No one realized the danger at the time, but once the deadline passed, monsters poured out of the Ikebukuro dungeon. Tokyo was overrun. Hundreds of thousands died. Ray gripped his phone tightly. I won't let that tragedy happen again. His eyes turned resolute. I will stop the collapse no matter what it takes. Then he turned to Raina. I will conquer that dungeon. She was visibly alarmed. You can't, even for you, it is too dangerous. Raina tried to stop him. Only ranked mages are allowed entry, and even then, it is only those above level 50. A bead of sweat slid down Ray's cheek. At least, there is still time before it collapses. He looked up. When's the next rank advancement exam? She answered, about a week from now. Ray's resolve hardened. Then no one can stop me now. He looked ahead with fierce determination. I will become an A-rank mage and conquer that dungeon. Hearing Ray's declaration, Jenna grew even more panicked. You want to rank up to a class? She asked, stunned. But then she added, well, with your skills, you could definitely pass the exam. Ray raised an eyebrow. Then what is the problem? Her expression turned grim. To even qualify for the A-class promotion exam, you need to complete a B-class dungeon as part of a team. That is the requirement, which means, you will need to form a team within a week and clear a B-class dungeon together. Ray sat back, his strength drained. He stared at his phone. I completely forgot about that part. Messages from others scrolled across the screen. Mockery, disdain. Who would party with the colorless, one said. Go crawl back to your little brother, said another. The ridicule was relentless. It seemed the news that Ray was colorless had already spread far and wide. Still, he clenched his fists. I have to do it. I have to clear an unexplored B-class dungeon within a week. But the thought of doing it alone was daunting, maybe impossible. What should I do? Just then, a voice called out nearby. Hey, you. Ray turned to see three angry girls confronting someone. You are coming with us today whether you like it or not. It turned out they were not talking to Ray, but to another girl. He watched, confused. What is going on? He muttered. The fashionable girl in front scolded the one behind. I let you in the party because I heard you were dual affinity, but your fire skills are way too weak. The girl being scolded did not argue. She just bowed her head and apologized. I am sorry. Ray sighed, brushing dust off his pants, ready to walk away. I really did not want to see something like this again. But the scene reminded him of himself. I was treated like a burden, too. Then the blonde team leader said something that stopped him cold. Let us be real, Ichinos. You are dead weight. Ichinos, Ray's eyes widened. That is her. Yes, this girl, now a struggling low-ranked mage, would one day become the Red King. But right now, she was still just a powerless novice, barely holding on to her place in a party. Ray watched silently. Still, I did not expect her own teammates to treat her like this. Ichinos spoke up timidly. If I get kicked out of this party, I won't be able to afford my little sister's hospital bills. She pleaded, please, give me one more chance. I will do better this time. The leader scoffed coldly. Prove it during today's raid. If you screw up again, you are out. Ichinos nodded weakly. I will do my best. The group walked off. Ray followed at a distance, wondering, will they really be okay? As the sun set, Ray wandered the city alone. Ichinos will become the Red King in a few years, he reminded himself. But before that, she would endure endless hardship. If I remember right, there is an incident coming soon. A terrible one. She was severely injured fighting a boss and ended up in a coma for years. Ray stopped in his tracks. Wait, that might be happening today. A chill ran down his spine. She did not look well earlier. Without hesitation, Ray turned and sprinted. I need to get there. Fast. Elsewhere, the dungeon gate had opened. Ichinos's party was already inside. A sudden tremor shook the dungeon. A monster had appeared. Dun Lahan, a level 45 boss. The team leader smirked. I have an idea. She pushed Ichinos forward. You are going to fight it alone. Ichinos froze. What? I can't beat Dun Lahan by myself. The leader crossed her arms, uncaring. Then you are out. No. The smug expression on her face twisted. Go on, give it your best shot for your sister, right? Ichinos trembled, overwhelmed. But she had no choice. Okay, she whispered. Her hands shook. As she summoned a fireball, she flung it at the beast. But it barely flinched. Panic surged. It is not working. Dun Lahan raised a foot and slammed it down. The impact shattered the earth, flinging Ichinos backward. She crashed hard, wincing on the ground. just in time to see the monster lurch forward. It raised its massive sword. She shut her eyes, bracing for the end. Of course, I am useless. But then, a figure stepped in front of her, intercepting the blade. It was Rei. Using extreme body enhancement, he blocked the attack and saved her life. Ichino's opened her eyes, stunned. Rei stood tall, facing the beast without hesitation. He launched a punch that shook the battlefield, cracking stone beneath the monster's feet. Ichino's eyes widened. Watching his back, she gasped, "You." But before she could say more, Rei glanced back and asked, "Are you okay?"